We'll just have to wait and see. Vice thinking hard about this though. Needed support to combine with her Phoenix, and you already lost the Clockwork. You might be looking for something else to get the setup. They do go with a Lich, which is again not the most common support, but we've seen it pop in a couple more times here from the groups of the Pro Series Season 4. And Execration do opt for the Drow instead. So they take the Drow Venge with Alina. You've got ridiculous range. We're going to be looking out for the Telescope, the Grove Bows, all of that fun stuff to balance this lineup. But so far, straightforward for Execration. I do worry about it still. I think Vice can sort of deal with this. As long as the CK goes off to a running start, gets a good Ags timing, and is always active, your Drow might not be able to sit back and just push as safe as she'd like to.
I don't disagree with you on that, John. I mean, it's definitely not a free Drow game. I think we can all agree on that. It is still going to be a decently scary time for the person playing the Drow. Now, mind you, in terms of laning stage, though, when you look at CK versing the Drow, I don't think the CK can really do much in the way of slowing her down. You might be able to CS and deny better, but eventually this Drow should be able to just harass him out of the lane, is what I'm kind of thinking Execration's game plan is. Just harass the crap out of him with the Frost Arrows, have the Venge around to be annoying with the Wave of Terror, and well, we'll see what happens. I mean, it should be a CK Phoenix lane by the looks of it. So, if that's the case, I don't see that particular lane being able to pressure the Drow as much as you would hope.
Yeah, I think it's a back and forth situation. Like, if the CK hits level 3 along with Phoenix, could be a bit dicey, especially if they do get a good Reality Rift backwards. So that's something the Drow's always got to be conscious about. Gotta always be at max range to get the creeps. I think chasing down in this case, I mean, you do have good right click, but it's just not too amazing, especially if Vice space themselves out nicely with that creep wave and just get control. For Vice's part, the CK in that lane will just have to focus on trying to lane control. They might just try to pull the camp towards their way, or maybe just creep cup with a Phoenix to get some EXP, but once you do hit that level 3 mark, should be steady. Execration, maybe if they drag an early Lina up, it would be faster to find early aggression out, and then you can just fix your lane back, split back into dual lanes. That could be something Execration pulls out. But we'll just have to see. We're still looking for a mid here for Execration, again, unless they run Lina Core, which doesn't seem likely. Lina Mars as a duo as well can sort of pressure the Lifestealer, but we've already talked about that matchup beforehand. You do see the LC and Timbersaw being banned out by Vice. So again, expecting that. Seems like they are expecting something more off lane here, actually. And they do manage to take out the Quap and Void Spirit here from Execration's end. So option for the TA is still there for Vice if they actually wanted that. With a CK Lifestealer, that does sound pretty potent. And Bob does play a mean one. Just unsure, because again, it's not been a very popular pick for anyone outside Bob so far. Could be a good one for it, though. And Execration, I mean, Drow Venge, they do have an option for, I suppose, Beastmaster if they really wanted to go all in. Could run that Mars mid instead, Beastmaster off, Lina support. Could work out if they are kind of flexing it like that.
Actually, I don't mind that if they did go the Beastmaster route. It could, some would call that too greedy, but I think it could actually work. We'll see Execration. They have 10 seconds maximum left. Time is a ticking. What do you want, Execration? Down to the last second, they'll go the Storm Spirit.
Okay.
Okay, so they've got someone now that can actually just fight along with the Mars, the Lina, the Venge. The draft overall, not looking too bad, but the one thing that I am seeing, apart from that Mars, John, is if the CK does find a way to close the gap on these heroes, they are going to explode.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, they've got all the damage in the world to get that happening. There are some really good scaling on Execration. I'd say if this game drags on too long, you will have an issue on Vice. They do go with a Tiny here for Bob instead. So you've got that burst. You've got another way of kind of just getting into the middle, taking that punishment up. It's not going to be as easy of a lane for Bob. That's a melee hero up against Storm Spirit. You do have ways of just playing with your tree grab, trying to clear out the wave, maybe get your avalanche toss up as well. But Ken should have a much more stable time here unless he overextends. So he's just got to watch his spacing. He had that early farm up. And overall, I'd say a bit tighter of a draft for Execration. You might say it's a bit greedy, but you can make this work as long as you play around towers quickly with your Drow, Venge, and Lina. And Vice, for their part, they have to ensure Enryu gets a good lane. You called it out, but not going to be the easiest of time for the CK Phoenix. There are also opportunities for them, but it's still not the safest lane for a CK. And that is really going to be the big question mark over Vice this time is how far can Enryu take that lane?
We'll find out. I mean, for Execration, obviously, one game. They've got to win this one out to force to a game 3, otherwise they're gone. Vice Esports, they're looking good. Just win this game and you proceed. Have a nice early night. Go have some merienda, maybe some dinner. Maybe it's a bit late for merienda, but you know.
It is.
Why not? It's never too late for merienda, John. Just have merienda whenever.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, it's funny you mentioned whenever, because it's like, so yesterday was the start of something we call Simbang Gabi here in the Philippines, which is like, I don't know how many days, 9 days before Christmas. You go to Mass at 3 a.m. and a lot of people go to it simply because right after outside there are people like selling food. Good breakfast food. So that's what really motivates people to go out. At least the ones I know. Maybe maybe I just know the wrong people, the morally wrong people. That's the main motivation. So it started yesterday. Unfortunately, because of quarantines, a lot of the populated areas don't get to have it. So just kind of imagine that we have the food at 3 a.m. and you can see lots of good luck, have fun's coming out. Good spirits from everyone. Fun fact as well, I've got to tell you. Yes. Palos is, funny enough, if you take out the S on his name, which becomes Palo, that means slap. So every time they do Palo with just the dollar signs, it's just like they're telling someone to get slapped with money. It just looks like, Palo.
Thank you for that, John. Very
fun facts.
Very educational of you.
I try.
Rupido is having a go at Zenki. The chicken stick is going to be placed there by Zenki.
He loves that one.
I do remember Rupido. He was very effective on the Mars last time we saw him playing this hero. So I guess it's something we have to look out for, is to see how effective he can be this game around. So last time we did see him, he was playing out of his mind.
That he was. He really set up for his team, and there is that pressure here again. And the Mars needs to get off to a good start as well. You want your early arenas to lead to something big. You don't have an easy target in the Life Stealer, but if you time it while Rage is down, and you tend to only have one value point on Rage, you should find some opportunities. So we'll see how it goes. Does have BDZ as his laning partner, Rupido. So you've got Lina around, really good range. You've got that early Blightstone start here for BDZ, so he can get the minus armor out, which will make it tougher for Zenki and Palos, although Zenki, once he has that Frost Shield, can mitigate some of that minus armor. So it should be a decent back and forth here, and just have to see how well BDZ can control up Palos and Zenki.
Funny BDZ went this Blightstone, because I was having a conversation with another analyst about this Lina Bloodstone, excuse me, not Bloodstone, the Blightstone pickup. And we were arguing about whether the Blightstone on Lina is actually good. I was saying it was, he was saying it wasn't. And I'm curious, do you think it's good, John?
I think it is in most cases, although.
Samael, yeah, he's in trouble. Ooh. He's going to go down, and that's something we talked about, though. It looks like Enryu is going to be able to find a trade onto the support, but Yoe, of course, going to be very happy with getting that first blood gold. But back to the question, John. Blightstone Lina, do you think it's good?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty darn nice, especially once you get your level 2, level 3, so you get a value point in the Fiery Soul. It makes your right clicks that much more potent, and it's pretty nice when you have a core that can follow up with it. So in this case, Rupido, of course, that does help amplify God's Rebuke as well. And Zenki.
Zenki, he's going to go down. Palos still trying to go after BDZ. Light Strike Array will come out and will be completely avoided by Palos, but a nice pick up there for our Mars. Because I was having a quick look at the mid lane where Bob on the Tiny was dropping very, very low in terms of HP. It's like Ken has been very active on this Storm mid. And Bob is completely out of regen, but he does have his courier coming out. I'm sure that has a nice bit of regen on it. However,
Yoe?
top lane, Yoe is going to be in danger, and he does get caught out.
Ooh, that is very tough. After getting first blood and you bleed out like this, it doesn't set you up well. This is the spike that we're starting to see from Vice. Level 3 is up in Enryu. He does go for 1-1-1. So he does have his full set of control. Now if Samael hits his level 3 as well, this is not going to be a fun lane for the Drow. So Yawi's got to start watching that spacing. There's only so much RR can do in this lane.
Yeah, I don't think Yoe was expecting the Rift to be up. He probably should have, but it doesn't matter. That's over now. We'll see how he deals with it at this stage of the lane. However, mid lane, Ken is eventually going to be able to get the kill onto Bob, and that's a solo pick-off there from Ken. However, Samael going to rotate on the Phoenix, but he is only level 2. So chances are he's not going to get the kill, and he might feed one away if he's not too careful. More Fire Spirits to come out. Ken is being a bit too aggressive. He will die to Samael. However, while Samael's gone, Yoe ends up getting a kill onto Enryu.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth in this game. Execration's still going to be happy about that. They're slowing down Bob a lot more. Ken is having a good start. That is what you want from your Storm. Not going to be too happy about dying. That gives Bob some space to recover. But the start for RCK as well, it's not the smoothest. So just trading yourself there for the mid is sort of wonky when you've already lost your own mid. And Yoe just gets to recover a bit, although you can see them playing tag. Overall, it's still fairly even, but Execration is starting to get a little bit more. Definitely an improvement from game 1. You just have to keep this pace up and really build on Ken. Like your Drow is fine, your Venge is fine, but Ken has to be up.
Rift back, RR is going to go down now. Yoe being left behind by himself is going to have a TP from a teammate coming in, and Samael may end up going down, and it looks like he will. Yoe is able to pick up a counter kill for himself. That'll make it so this Drow is 3-1 now. However, bot lane, Rupiro trying to have a go at Zenki is going to be able to get a nice spear off, but it looks like he is not going to chase Zenki down, as he did have the Frost Shield going, and he probably wouldn't have found the kill anyway.
Yeah, it's a really tough time to handle though.
Now Bob's in trouble. He's trying to make a run for it. Samael's going to come in to help. Bob still dropping very low. They need one more hit. They can't quite get it. But Bob is having a very, very tough game on this Tiny thus far.
Yeah, and that's just a big difference here for Execration. They've got such a good start for Ken. They are getting a lot more in the Storm, and this is what they need. They are not getting as much as they'd want on their other lane, but yeah.
BDZ. He got Bob. It looks like Bob made the rotation for the bounty rune, and BDZ read him. Read him like a book.
Yeah, it's that 5-minute mark. He knew he could snipe the bounty. They did see the Tiny low, so they get some good punishment out. Bob's got to be a bit cautious. He's falling a bit behind the Tiny. He's going to need his, at least now, level spikes. And his blink time has been really delayed from that. And you can see the rotation top.
Oh, they've got Enryu now. BDZ, another nice rotation out with RR. And Yoe, he puts the hand up. He wants a high five. He's not going to get one, but I don't think he minds too much. He prefers the life of the Chaos Knight, of course.
Yeah, they are just getting all these early rotations out. Execration now, the ones much more active in this early game. They are securing themselves a lot of farm. You can see Yoe really start to pull away in that fourth now as well very early on. But this is an excellent sign for Execration. Vice need to find a way to get the supports active.
Oh, Ken mid lane almost drops, but they didn't have quite enough damage. Ken going to be able to escape with about 60 HP for himself. Bob not going to be too happy about that. I'm sure he was so darn close to getting the kill.
No, it's just not lining up. He's a level behind now, the Storm. And that's just not where you want to be. The Storm just gets so much more control and space. And they're keeping that trial lane up top as well. Yoe?
Oh, they could be in trouble. They go for the dive onto Yoe, but it was all a bait. And Ryu now going to be in massive danger. They'll drop the Frost Shield, though. Here comes Zenki to try and help out, but Ken's now here. And Ken with the rotation back from the fountain going on to Samael, and he'll find another. Really great plays out from Execration this game, number 2. And it's really not working out nicely at all for Vice Esports.
They're starting to crumble. You've got Bob around here trying to find some punishment though, but they are still clumped up. The only good thing to come out for Vice is the fact that they're getting farm here on Palos. He's still keeping up number 3 so far, not under pressure from the solo Mars lane, but that's to be expected. And the Lifestealer doesn't flash farm like a Drow does. So they're going to have to watch themselves with how much they're giving here to Yoe. He is just getting way too much value, and they're finding more.
Yeah, Ken having a great game, setting up another kill here for Yoe. They are very, very focused in on trying to deal with this Drow Ranger, but the more they try to gank her right now, the more she gets.
And it's just way too much being bled out here. Vice needs to tighten up their aggression, focus on getting some stacks out, trying to get some farm up as well. You need Bob to hit his blink timing, and so far, with all the time he's wasted around map, he's actually bottom of all the course and network, barely above Samael on his Phoenix. So he's barely above his own support. He's behind BDZ's Lina. This is just not the kind of start we're used to seeing from Bob, but that's just the way the cookie crumbled. That lane match was just never good for him.
Henry, he's trying to go again onto BDZ, but the Laguna's going to come out. He's going to drop. Zenki now trying to get a trade. He can't get it. BDZ going to be able to get a double kill for himself. And Vice Esports, they probably need to stop running at them right now as mid lane. Oh, Bob. Oh, not Bob. Ken. Oh, he can't get the attack off. The Fire Spirit's slow, but Bob's still in danger. He'll turn back around for an avalanche, but the toss, Bob, I'm not sure about this. He gets it off, tosses Ken away. Now the rift back in from Enryu, but the Vortex is there. Ken still trying to run. Enryu going to get the stun off, but does he have the damage output? Bob's coming back in, but it looks like they have not got what it takes, and Yoe going to slow Enryu down, kite him around. Bob came back in, but it's just a mess. An absolute mess here for Vice Esports' Execration. A 5k net worth lead now for this dire side.
5k at 9 minutes in, that is massive. They're off to a running start. They are, looks like they fixed the issues they had from game 1. They're just constantly on the lookout for opportunities. They've smoked up once more. Could find Palos.
Well, they found him all right. The swap is there, but the infest onto a creep is not going to be enough. Palos still trying to run. They don't even need the arena. They just drop the Laguna Blade straight on his head. Yeah, it's rough. It is really rough for Vice. That was your Lifestealer going down as well. Like he was free farming the whole game, but he's still behind the Drow, who's 6-1 and 2 now.
Yeah, it's too much coming out here from Execration. They've just been allowed to do a lot. They've got this Venge stacking efficiently as well, which we haven't seen come out from Vice. They haven't been able to build any meaningful stacks this game. So they're starting to fall severely behind. It is going to become an issue with how well Ken is doing here, 2-1-5. And they're going to be able to line up for the objectives. This is, again, where Execration's draft does really shine. They can mount these towers fast, and Vice just cannot trade as well. They are trying in the top tier 1, though, but they might lose some hero spot.
Oh, BDZ ends up going down. Bob didn't quite catch that one, John, but it looks like an avalanche toss combination caught him. However, Rupido trying to come in for an arena does catch him, but Gaze is going to be there into an avalanche and an egg. Zenki might drop and does, but they can't finish off Bob. Here comes Enryu with the X set up out onto the Mars. They will get one. They'll go onto Yoe, but the Gust is out. Yoe going to try and make a run for it. However, the avalanche is going to be out as well. The swap out from RR is going to save the day, but Yoe is coming back in, though I'm not sure about that one. BDZ is around to help, and it looks like they are a bit too low now. They need to run away, but Yoe has the control along with BDZ. They do at least get the CK for their trouble.
Oh, man, it's still something for Vice. They do still sort of win out. They found a tier 1 tower up top as well, but if they keep these fights for too long, no egg, it's going to be a bit risky. They need a blink on Bob to be really comfy, although they will try.
Yeah, they will. Yoe, Gust away is going to be nice onto Zenki. Zenki already quite low. Bob trying to find a way in, but no. Yoe finds another kill for himself. And Bob's just going to have to run. I think the fact that Bob is nowhere near his blink dagger timing is really going to hurt the side of Vice Esports. He needs to farm it up ASAP.
He needs to find it within at least the next 5 minutes. Even then, that's not a very comfy spot. They are just losing too much, and you can see Ken just absolutely bullying Enryu. Enryu's been stuck at level 6 for so long as the off-lane CK. We talked about the Ag's timing for this here. It doesn't look like he's even going to be able to rush it. He's going for drums first, just to have a little bit more presence. Vice still 5k behind, but at 12 minutes in, that's still just as bad. You can see even the build-up here on BDZ is... BDZ's ahead of Bob and Enryu. That's what you're playing right now. The pause 4 of the enemy team is above your mid and your off lane. And Vice, they're going to need to either stall out or find some big pickoffs, but neither of those are going to happen all too well until they meet their own item timings. And just look at how well Yoa gets to clear out these stacks. Just insane efficiency that you can't get from a life sealer.
That is very true. Things will calm down just a little bit, and that'll give Vice time to farm up. It also gives Execration time to farm up plenty as well, as Yoe really starting to take over in terms of net worth. Is just farming stacks away. Got the 4 staff up now, going straight into that Hurricane Pike, and we'll have enough gold for that in just a moment. Even our Mars, like, you're just casually farming for a Yules. No pressure here for him. Very relaxed, just enjoying the bot lane. Understanding they can't really kill him right now. But it looks like Vice Esports, they've had enough of that farming game. They go back into a smoke now with Bob and Zenki.
Oh boy.
They're trying to have a look around, but there's going to be a counter smoke now out from Execration. This could be very, very dangerous for Vice, as Enryu mid lane is just slowly farming up. He's going to pop the Phantasm and try to use that to escalate, but the zip in, Ken. He's going to get the Vortex off into the Line Strike Array, and it's going to be a nice, quick, easy kill. Into that tier 1 mid tower they go.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice objective to bounce back with. They do try to look for more, but they don't really manage to close out. It's still going to be a strong objective, and you can see the push potential once again shining through. BDZ and Yoe are just giving so much more because they've got this Venge. Just take the easy tower. 7k lead now, 7 to 18. A complete flip from how game 1 went. And Vice, they're the ones on the back burner now. They're the ones just not finding any single objective on the map. They have given Palos a lot of space up top to slap away at that tier 2, but his farm is still desperately behind our Drow. We're looking at 8k up against 6.6. That's a nice item advantage. Yoa does give himself. He is saving up for the Yasha now on the Drow as well. So you're going to have even more damage coming through, even more mobility. And our Storm has the Kaya. So it's going to be a fairly easy run into the Bloodstone. And if Ken keeps finding kills with that Bloodstone up, it's just going to be that much harder to manage.
We go into another kind of quiet period, but this is probably the best time for Bob to just try and get that blink up. So it just feels like they have no way to catch the Drow without it. In fact, top lane. Palos, he's getting caught out again. Now Ken gonna zip right in on the Storm, and we'll find Zenki. Nice easy pickups as Bob. I'm not sure what his game plan was there, but he does get swapped out. He's just going to make a run away. You can really start to feel the desperation here with the way they're farming on Vice. They're trying to really push it. But every time they do, they do end up getting punished. It's one of those games where Vice, I don't feel like they can really show on the map right now.
No, and they've got no options. They can't really play aggressive. They can't take the risk. They need to just ward their own side and play it safe with a farm.
Samael, is it really worth the dive for that illusion room? Those are the kind of plays you start to question. It's like, why did you go for that?
No excuses for that one. Just really greedy, and Vice need to reel that greed in. Hunker down. Execration, for their part, they're playing perfectly. You know, they're punishing the overstepping of Vice. They've taken control of the map. They found his farm. They're constantly up with the smokes, and they're always out hunting. So Vice, just constantly falling behind, and just no way to really stop this. Like, the smoke might not lead to anything big. They might catch out Bob. Could be, again, the most important target. He's just about 100 gold off his blink. If he dies here, that's going to hurt.
He's got enough gold for the blink now. Bob Yeah, he's going to buy it out. He knows he's dead. He tried to go for a cheeky juke, but it's just nothing to juke into. Another great kill out for Execration. 9k now is the net worth lead for them, as they do begin to move through the top lane into that tier 1 tower. They're just desperately trying to farm up. Palos trying to get a Desolator up first, it looks like. They could try for the defense here. I just don't think it's going to work out in their favor. I suppose the best you can do is put the Frost Shield there and just slow it down. Looks like they are grouping up. They want to try and force a team fight, Vice. Infest is there. Bob with the blink now. Maybe going for a surprise real. Has spotted out Yoe. That's a huge target. He'll make the jump in, but he is way too late. Light Strike Array is going to come out. Palos, he'll jump out of the Infest now, chasing down the Drow Ranger. Meanwhile, Rupido is in a little bit of trouble. He may get taken down and does by Palos. Back in onto Yoe. That's the target they want, but Yoe is still just running away. Now the Sunray out with the Spirit Vessel. Enryu with the stun. They might get him, and they do. In comes Ken now on the Storm. Does kill off Palos and might be able to clean up everyone else. Zara does also go down. Zenki, he's going to be left behind. He will die in the Lich. That may just be it, unless Bob can come in for another quick kill. Looks like Samael is going to get caught and does die, but now the Avalanche toss is there from Bob. BDZ still not dying. Light Strike Array not going to connect, and looks like Bob will be very happy to just run away with that kill. And overall, even though it kind of went bad at the end, that team fight, I'm sure, did favor Vice Esports quite a bit.
It does, mainly because they were just so far behind. It was 1.9k gold going their way. So you'd consider that win really decent reveal of Bob's blink, although he missed the opportunity. You need to be on point when you jump the Drow. The Hurricane Pike means it's harder to land your combo. So Yoa responds in time, stalls out the fight long enough to really force it to be wobbly for Vice. But, at least with that blink, he got opportunities, although...
Yeah, Ken's having a field down the Storm. He's having the freest game of his life right now. And they might go for another smoke. They've grouped up in that mid lane, Execration.
Taking a look around, I see Enryu going for the blink. I don't know how useful that will be. Like, he can go in, get his Reality Rift and stun off. It doesn't feel like it's going to be enough by himself. He does have his Tiny to follow up, so you're supposed to just stack your damage onto the Lifestealer. The Rosh is slowly being taken, but they did smoke up and get some good scans out from each team, so they know what's up.
We're going to jump in. Bob, a great Avalanche toss out onto 3 heroes, but the arena going to be dropped, and Yoe actually goes down. He went down to Samael's egg damage. A great rotation out from Vice Esports. However, the zip in. Ken! He got the Aegis off him. He snatches it away. He's going to lose it straight off the bat. RR also going down. And now if they can find the Storm kill, it'll be pretty darn amazing as the gaze does come in. But Enryu, he was stunned up. Ken going back in will kill off the CK. Now Samael getting very, very low. But Palos trying to go onto Rupiro. However, Ken actually dies to Bob. BDZ now, trapped between a rock and a hard place, is going to try and run, but Bob will have the Avalanche very soon and does go for the toss first. And Palos now going to get right on top and get the damage out. It was a very nice Aegis steal out from Ken, but he ends up losing his life in the end, and pretty much everyone else on his team also lost their lives in that. Bit of a disastrous kind of Roche fight here for Execration.
Strong punishment coming out from Vice. It looked like both sides were going to be rather cautious because of the scans, but I believe that was mainly because Ken got caught by a bash in pit. So he was caught in the middle, they were forced to respond. Bob?
Bob.
Alright. A bit greedy, trying to look for a pickoff. Maybe just feeling, off that high of finding those kills. Gets punished, so that tempers down the swing there for Vice, but they're still in a really good spot. Palos is actually keeping up with our Drow despite all things. 1k behind, considering how bad this game has gone for Vice, that is something to be happy about. Your life healer is keeping up in farm. You still need to somewhat play catch up with Bob, and Andrew is still in a very sad spot as the CK, but you are getting a little bit more. Execration, for their part, I think it's down to just giving Yoed the proper position. He's been caught out a couple of times, and that has been really easy to punish. They need to sort of space out Yoe and RR. Right now, they're a bit too close. There's not many opportunities for swap saves in those tight spaces. So that it really comes down to the Venge maybe keeping a safe distance away from Yoe to get that bailout. Still, blink up on Rupido means they've got more ways of initiating, more ways to follow up on Ken. This could be when Execration start to find some of their own fights now, as they've got that spike and they blink up, they smoke up.
That they do. Gotta be very cautious though, not to give too many more kills away. I think Henry, you're gonna be caught out there on the CK. Nice pick up there, and in fact Ken just keeps going. He wants more. Bob was on the tail end of that spear, but he's gonna be all right. Now Bob looks to try and turn it back around. Who's he gone on though? Looks like Palos does jump out. BTS going to be targeted first, but a nice swap out there from the Venge, saving the day. He still does die, but so does Samael on the Phoenix. They continue. Zenki getting very, very low. Rupido jumping in, trying to deal with the CK. Meanwhile, the rest chasing down Palos on the Lifestealer. He's in big, big danger trying to get up the staircase right now. Bob caught out by the Vortex, is going to be surrounded and is going to drop. And it does end up being a pretty awkward team fight for them. They went in 4v5 without their CK and it does not work out.
And the bigger factor there was that they lost Samael off the bat. They needed the egg to come in. The egg outside the arena has been helping Vice a ton, but without Samael around, they couldn't force Execration to choose where to fight, and it just caused all sort of awkwardness. Still, not the biggest swing for Execration. That is because of how far ahead they are. They're not gaining as much gold anymore from these kills. They are keeping Vice down, but the gap has kind of stabilized at 10 to 11 KV, so still relatively even, although Palos...
He's going to rage TP. It looks like he will be alright. It is the one saving grace right now, the fact that Palos is still farming quite nicely on the Lifestealer. But you do really need a good infest target like the CK who can blink in, or the Tiny, to be able to really just focus down Yoe in these team fights. And of course, it has been rather difficult as well, because you've got RR on the Venge, and he's been very on point with the swaps this game. Constantly saving out his cores over and over again. Mid lane. He spotted out Ken. Oh, zip away Ken, perfect timing. Now going to jump back in for a Vortex, and Rupido is there with the arena. They'll try to drop the egg to save their Tiny, but they cannot. Bob will drop. Perhaps they'll find a Mars response, or maybe not. Yoe is here now with a great multi-shot out, and they are just going to melt. Nice and easy for Execration. It doesn't even look like a challenge for them right now.
No, it's a complete flip from game one. They're the ones putting Vice in the Vice grip now. Hammering on those tier 2s. Vice, just really awkward spots. Like, they can get the egg off, but now with the ults on Rupido, it's hard to lock him in. You can just ult before it pops. And they're just not finding the angles. They forced that fight without Palos. They're going to go straight into the high ground. No buybacks here, no egg in the respawn. So options for defense, very limited for Vice.
Yeah, it certainly is. That mid-rax certainly going down. They will probably back off straight after this mid-rax. Oh, Zenki going for a cheeky TP. Will have to cancel it off. However, Bob going to jump in, but an immediate Yule's up, and he's gone. In they go again. Ken feeling himself right now. Going to go after the Lich, and Zenki is going to die. Alright, maybe they can go to the bot lane.
Now, fortunately for Vice, there are still tier 2s to take out. So it's not an immediate push into the high ground for Execration. That does give them some much needed time. Respawns are still fairly short, so every second counts. But these objectives still melt, so they're still gotta be cautious with how they come in here.
Tier 3 tower. Dropped very, very easily. There's no confidence in Vice Esports to defend, I'm sure. They're going to try. Enryu immediately gusts it up. Palos has to jump out. He'll try to take down the Drow. They're going to lose Samael and RR once again. A great swap out on the Drow. They will swap back. The lifestealer, Bob, trying to jump in for an avalanche toss. It is not going to be enough. They'll call it. Just nothing working out in their favor. And Execration will be able to force this game out to a game number 3.
Yep, excellent plays coming out from Execration here. They were the ones to bring it to Vice this time around. They had a draft that played fast. They didn't have to sit around. They didn't have to wait for Yoa to reach a certain point in the game. They just won out their lanes, won out the matchups. This is what we were looking for from their draft in game 1. Comes out here in game 2. Vice looked a lot worse than we'd expect. Like, they looked amazing in game 1. They look kind of lost here in game 2. We'll have to see if game 3 shakes them up, as it is their tournament lives on the line. It is a best of 3, so it's elimination time. One of these teams, whoever loses the next one, is out. So you'd expect a little bit more fight there from Vice as well.
With that, John, of course, we are going to head over to a short break, and after that break, we are going to be back with our third game of this lower bracket best of 3. See you soon.